Hello, Magpies! Big updates coming your way, and we've got plenty to talk about. First up, let's chat about Osula and his situation at Newcastle United. It's been a bit of a slow start for the young striker since his move from Sheffield United, but Eddie Howe has just given us a major hint about what could be next for him. Let's dive in. So, Osula, 10 million signing, 21 years old, full of potential, but here's the issue. He's competing with the best striker in the Premier League right now. There's absolutely no way anyone is getting in ahead of Alexander Isak in this form, and even Callum Wilson is still ahead of Osula in the pecking order. That means game time has been limited for the young forward, with his only starts coming in cup games against AFC Wimbledon and Bromley. Now, some fans have been calling for a loan move, a chance for Osula to go elsewhere, play regular football, and develop his game. But Eddie Howe has made it very clear that's not happening. He believes the best place for Osula is right here on Tyneside, training with the first team, learning from Isak and Wilson, and growing into the role. And honestly, you can see the logic. Training every day with top quality players can do wonders for a young striker, especially under Howe's coaching. But here's the big twist. Howe isn't just thinking about Osula as a striker. In his latest press conference, he hinted that the young talent could be used out wide. And let's be honest, that makes a lot of sense. With Miguel Almiron's departure to Atlanta United, we're a bit short on options in the wide areas. Right. Now, the only real senior wingers available are Anthony Gordon and Jacob Murphy. Harvey Barnes is still injured, and Jolinton, while capable, is needed in central midfield. That leaves us thin on the wings, and Osula could be an interesting option to fill that gap. Howe has pointed out that Osula isn't just a pure number 9. He's played out wide before, and that could be an avenue to get him more minutes in the Premier League. Of course, he won't just be thrown into the starting lineup. It's likely he'll get a few cameo appearances here and there, maybe in games where we're already in control. But Howe values versatility, and if Osula can prove himself as a wide forward as well as a striker, his value to the squad skyrockets. For Osula, this is a massive opportunity. He's still young, he's still learning, and getting a chance to play in different positions could help him become a more complete player. Look at the likes of Marcus Rashford and Gabriel Martinelli. Both started out as strikers, but thrived out wide before fully settling into their best roles. If Osula can follow a similar path, it could be huge for both him and Newcastle United. So, what do you think, Magpies? Do you see Osula making an impact out wide, or should he continue focusing on his development as a central striker? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. That's it for part 1. Stick around because up next, we've got a big one involving Nick Pope, Thomas Tuchel, and the England national team. Stay tuned. All right, Magpies, let's talk about our number 1, or should we say, one of our number 1s. Nick Pope has been a rock for Newcastle United since his arrival, but recently, Martin Dubravka has stepped up big time in Pope's absence. Now, with Pope back from injury, Eddie Howe has a major decision to make, and things have just gotten even more interesting, thanks to a call from none other than England manager Thomas Tuchel. Now this is huge. England managers don't just call players out of the blue unless there's something to talk about. And the fact that Tuchel rang Pope suggests he's firmly in the conversation for an England call-up. Pope revealed this in a light-hearted moment during a Q&A on Newcastle's YouTube channel, admitting that Tuchel was the most famous contact on his phone. A casual flex, but one that speaks volumes about his standing in the national team setup. But here's where things get tricky. Pope hasn't played for England since last October, and Dubravka has been in sensational form while he's been sidelined. Dubravka has kept 5 clean sheets in 8 games, conceding just 6 goals. Pope, on the other hand, has 3 clean sheets in 15 games and has conceded 21 goals. Those are some stark numbers, and they put Howe in a difficult spot ahead of the weekend clash against Fulham. Howe has been very careful with his words, making it clear that he doesn't want to outright declare a number 1 goalkeeper. Instead, he wants competition for places, keeping both keepers on their toes and ensuring that performance dictates selection. This weekend's game against Fulham could be telling. If Pope is back between the sticks, it might be a sign that he's still considered the first choice goalkeeper. If Dubravka keeps his place, then Pope might have to fight harder than ever to reclaim his spot. From an England perspective, Tuchel's call might be a lifeline for Pope. With the new manager preparing for his first squad announcement in March, he'll want to assess his options carefully. Pope has always been in the mix, but his lack of game time, due to injury, might have hurt his chances. If he can get back into the starting 99 and put in some big performances, he could make a strong case for himself ahead of the Euros. So, what do we think, Magpies? Should Pope go straight back into the team, or has Dubravka done enough to keep his spot? And what do you make of Tuchel's call? Does Pope deserve to be back in the England squad? Let us know in the comments below. That's all for today, folks. As always, stay tuned for more Newcastle United updates. Take care and away the lads!